Hi, I'm Joseph Falbo, Certified Financial Planner, and today we're going to talk about rising inflation. See, beyond a shadow of a doubt right now, inflation is alive and well. However, to what extent will inflation remain in force, both the severity of it and how long it's going to last, the duration of it, that's all debatable. Some economists, they believe it's going to stay and be here for a long time, or be here for a while at least. Other people think it's transitory, which is the word they use for temporary, so they believe it's going to be, it's not permanent, it won't be here for long. The time horizons for temporary inflation versus persistent or continuous inflation are all subjective. How long is transitory inflation? Well, that all depends on your time horizon. You know, any investor's time horizon could be a couple of months, it could be a year or more, depending. It really depends on one's time horizon. Now, but instead of trying to predict what inflation is going to do and how that's going to affect the market, just like the market, no one can predict that. No one can predict what inflation is going to do. It's probably much smarter to look at past bouts of inflation, and we have a couple of good examples. In the 1940s, inflation spiked significantly, with inflation rate being 15%, and at one point more than 17% at another point. Both were temporary, they were transitory, but obviously very painful. So how did stocks do during that time period? Well, wouldn't you know, they did very well. The S&P had average annual return of 9.2% that decade. 1970s also experienced two spikes of inflation and had the highest average inflation rate at 7.4%. Even so, the market produced positive returns throughout the decade. Most surprising, and people don't realize this, is that the worst performance over a decade was 2000 for the markets, when the inflation rate was averaging at a low of 2.5%. So that kind of data shows us that even if we know for sure what inflation is going to do, we're not going to know exactly how the market's going to react to it, are we? Right? Inflation does not predict future markets, what they're going to do. That's why it's always best to make our financial decisions based on our individual investment plan, regardless of the concern or fear du jour of the day. Thank you very much. I hope you got something out of this message.